It is Sunday, January 4th, and it's the weather video first for the Sunday of the new year. And unfortunately, today we had a lot of clouds around. Again, you can see here on this satellite image a lot of clouds across Long Island, less off to the over the north and west, though somewhere did pop up in the afternoon. But there were a lot of clouds around today, unfortunately. And we had a little bit of snow in the morning here. They already took the snowfall reports down. It was very little, very little. That we got. They took it away. It was like a half an inch coating. Let's see. So this is what we got this morning. Some areas of Connecticut got a measurable amount, like over an inch. But as far as our area, 0.2 in Farmingdale, 0.5 in Mount Sinai, 0.4 in Upton. So there was a coating. Islip Airport got 0.3 with a little disturbance that wound up moving through across the area. Looking at our temperatures right now, yeah, it's... hold on a second. I got to pull something up that I forgot. Yeah, sorry. I'm still kind of fighting off this cold. So hopefully I sound a little bit better. But it looks like there is some really good radiational cooling going on in West Hampton right now, down to 14. And they could get quite cold again. Dew points are nice and low at 9 degrees. Islip's at 28. Dew points a little higher there at 17. It's showing some scattered clouds around with the winds. The winds are pretty light, though, right? Yeah, just 8 miles an hour. Farmingdale's 28 as well. And, of course, my alley is, yeah, you won't believe how hot my alley is. Yeah, you won't believe it. Just hold on a second. I keep forgetting things. I apologize. Do apologize for that. Just so... I really didn't want to come home and do this. It's such a nice night out there, even though we had a lot of clouds tonight. Just show you the moon. I just love when you have a moonlit night. The sky was fairly clear, a few clouds. This is Twin Lakes Park. Just looking at the moon rising over the lake. You see the lake is frozen. It's absolutely beautiful. But some of the lakes were not. This one was not frozen. You can hike at night at the moon. It's nice. I think it's beautiful, actually. And yes, there's even a few pines there as well. So, yeah, it's real nice. But, yeah, I come back here and then I got to deal with, yeah, my alley's almost 38 degrees. It's like 10 degrees warmer than the actual temperature it is outside. It's just unbelievable.
Oh, I hate this place!
Yeah. So, how to play that. I mean, 10-degree difference. That's what it is when you have these light winds, these nights with these light winds. So 14 at West Hampton. Let's see if they're getting radiational cooling and a little bit of a breeze there at Miller Park, but they're at 19 right now. So these current temperatures are the lows because we had clouds in the morning. However, I do want to go to West Hampton and look at Saturday morning because Saturday morning was pretty cold. Let's see. Got to go way back here. Saturday morning, it got down very cold in West Hampton. I'll show you how low it got. It got down to, at one point, yeah, right here, 3:40 in the morning, 1 degree. 1 degree. So the low was 1 degree at West Hampton. How about that, huh? That's impressive. So there was really impressive radiational cooling Saturday morning with the snowpack, the light winds, the clear skies. And I'm sure it was absolutely fabulous place to be. Enjoying those single-digit readings. Just really beautiful. And you see here, it has a low of 2. But I don't know. It says 1 degree over there. So I'm thinking it hit 1 degree. I don't know why it says low of 2. But it definitely hit 1 degree there at West Hampton Saturday morning. So really impressive as far as the lows on Saturday morning. For Islip go, we'll look at that when we go to the climate report. So let's take a look at today's climate report at Islip. Obviously, not really going to feature the low. The low of 26 was at 9 in the morning. So it could get down to 26 in the morning there, even though we had clouds around. High was 35, so it got to the mid-30s. Still a little bit below normal. The normal high is 36, so 5 degrees below normal on the high. And the low of 26 is right at normal. Let's go and look at Saturdays as well. So we'll look at Saturdays here. High of 31 and a low of 23. So the radiational cooling Saturday morning was particularly on the Pine Barrens areas. Those are the areas that really had it. The rest of the areas did not. And for Saturday, we're 6 degrees below normal at Islip. So enjoy the cold, because unfortunately for those of us who like the cold, like yours truly, it's going to get warmer. And with that, it's going to come junkier air and not as good air quality at all. That's unfortunately. I'm just curious of what Miller Air Park got on Saturday morning. So let's see what they got on Saturday morning, and then yes, I meant to grab a map of all the lows, but I forgot. So last night, with all that's going on. Let's see, Saturday morning. So let's see. Well, it looks like Miller Air Park got down to 9 degrees, so not quite as cold as West Hampton. West Hampton always is usually the coldest spot. So sometimes Miller Air Park can be colder. It depends, but I think because West Hampton has more snow on the ground, that's why. And if you take a look at this MODIS satellite, you can see, if I go to the earlier one, well, you could sort of see the snow on the east end there. The snow that's still on the ground. Go to the morning one, you could see all the cloud. You can see the snow here, though. Not so much snow over New Jersey. So looking at our current satellite here again, you can see all the lake effect clouds that we've been dealing with, and some more of these mid and high level clouds that are going to be with the next system, and unfortunately the warmer air that's going to be coming into the picture. You can see here the pattern, the Pacific pattern starting to emerge, a real crap, garbage pattern that we're going to get into this week. Of course, everybody on the TV is saying how great it is, and how no, this is not the way it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be in the 50s in the winter, all right? No, it's not supposed to happen. I've had it with the media, I really have. Just they're all tools of the Wall Street, and don't even get me started on that. But anyway, you can see this low pressure system here. There's the cold air, and if you're in Maine, you'll have one more nice day. But for us, we're going to have increasing clouds. Going to the weather map here, you see there's actually another cold front of stalled to our north. So this is really where it's much colder. I was talking about that Saturday night, that a lot of the colder air was going to go over Maine, or I don't know if it was. No, it wasn't Saturday night. I think it was Friday that I was talking about that. Sorry if I just have a lot of confusion. I don't know. It's the cold. I don't know what it is. The cold, as far as not the cold weather, but my cold that I'm trying to beat. It's fine, and when I'm outside I feel better, but when I come back in here I start feeling sicker again. No surprise. So you've got the weather map. You see there's another system in the west coast there. So let's go to our weather and hazards map and just show you what it is in Maine here, because if we were in Maine right now, oh yeah, it would be like 1 degree. Yeah, look at that, 1 degree, dew point -6 in Greenville. There's some Pine Barrens in Maine. Bangor, 5 degrees, dew point down to -3. They only got up to 14 today, by the way. So yeah, that's what I'd like to be getting, but we're not getting that. So anyway, let's go look at the satellite here. Not the satellite. I'm sorry for my confusion. I'm really having trouble tonight getting focused to do this. I'm trying. You're gonna have to just bear with me. So let's go and look at the general patterns here. We'll start with the European here. We have the 18Z run of the European. I'm just going to use the 12Z run because it goes further at this point. So let's show you the jet stream. We'll show you what's going to be changing here. So you can see already, we have a block right now, but it changes into more of a zonal pattern here this week, and then we get some ridging in the east, and that is going to bring in much warmer weather, perhaps record-breaking warmth. It's funny how we always have record-breaking warmth and almost never record-breaking cold weather. It's funny how the media never seems to bring that up. But anyway, you see here, there's a trough that comes a really unusual now. You can see how the jet stream's just all twisted and tangled here. It does try to redevelop some troughing later on in the period here. Let's go to this here, which is the upper air. You see that troughing that we have, and a nice block in Greenland that we have, but unfortunately that goes away, and then we start getting into a zonal pattern and a trough in the west and a ridge in the east, and that's going to mean much warmer weather in the east. And then you can see there's a trough that comes through, but there's no connection to the Arctic, so there's not really going to be any Arctic air coming through here. You can see following these isobars is still kind of a Pacific flow, even as we get to the middle of the month. So any hopes for any really bitter cold weather, maybe as we get toward the very end of this time frame, that we start seeing some bitter cold weather starting to come back to the east. But other than that, it's going to suck for the next week for those of us who like the cold. And as far as especially clear skies, maybe we'll have one clear. I mean, we were hoping that we'd have more clear skies, and it always happens that we don't. We had New Year's Day, and that was it. Today I was hoping it was going to be clear, but no, that didn't happen. So let's go to the GFS upper air, and we will be using the 18Z GFS for this. So here's the GFS, the upper air. See if there are any differences here. Not really. It looks a little different. GFS tries to bring in some troughing, but again, there's there's a little more of a connection to the Arctic here as we get to January 16th. And there does seem to be trying to bring in a block as we get toward the latter part of the month. So it would probably mean colder weather as we get toward the end of the month. But I'm going to go to the temperature anomaly chart. And we'll first start with this one, obviously, the GFS. And you can see that all the warmth that's going to be moving into the east here, and all the cold weather that's going to be over Alaska and going to the west coast here. And then we're still staying above normal. It's not until we get toward the end of the period that you start seeing, finally, some cold air coming back into the picture. And the European will show the same thing. So you notice that things change as you get toward the end of the month. So you can see it well above normal here, like blowtorch weather here. I mean, look at those anomalies. And then as we get toward the end of the period, we start seeing some colder weather starting to come back into the picture again. So you start seeing more of that flow coming out of the Arctic, and that's what we want to see. Just change the regions to CONUS. Again, you can get an idea of just how warm this week's going to be. I'm going to just move this to the 18Z. It's going to be a torch this week, a blowtorch just across the whole country with a horrible Pacific pattern, just really ridiculous warmth into the weekend. Absolutely. So you can see that ridiculous warmth into the weekend that we're going to have. Well above normal temperatures. Just crazy ridging. But I hope it doesn't come with humidity, so I'm just going to run this dew point thing. It does look like it comes with some humidity as we get towards Saturday, perhaps. And there could be an LLJ then, too, as well. There's one more thing I want to look at here, and this is the hemispheric view. The GFS, only the GFS offers this product. We're going to look at this, which is the polar vortex. All right. So right now you can see it's kind of wrapped up, and that's not what you want to see. But we do see some elongating and some tendency to split as we get toward the end of the period, and hopefully, again, that'll bring winter back. But anyway, now let's go to the CONUS, and we will look at the surface maps, starting with the European. Again, we'll go to the 12Z European here. So you see that high pressure there. It comes through, starts moving offshore tomorrow. Clouds increase. There's a little disturbance that's going to bring some light snow activity to the north, but I think tomorrow stays dry. Tuesday, we start seeing the warm air come back, and then as we get toward the evening, you start seeing some sucky light rain break out overnight. So it's going to be kind of a damp overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. And then we start seeing that low depart. Winds start picking up, but there's no cold air behind it. And then Thursday, maybe we could have some sunshine, though. It won't be that cold at all. And then that high starts moving offshore. And then that sets the stage for the weekend, where we get this very strong warm flow from the south. And that's going to be a very strong LLJ. And with that's going to come rain. And I think Saturday, you're going to have an LLJ for Saturday. It could wind up being quite wet. And then as we get towards Sunday, it cools down, but not really any cold air until we get toward the end of the period. You see it tries to develop a coastal storm well offshore. This is 16 hours away, so it's not, but you definitely see that pattern change as we get. So we got a couple of weeks of suck, and then hopefully as we get toward the middle of the month, it'll get better as far as cold weather comes. So looking at the GFS here, the 18Z GFS, here is the 18Z GFS. And you can see again that LLJ is for Saturday. We could be dealing with some really strong winds again Saturday and Sunday. Here we go again with the wind. Saturday, Sunday. I'm tired. One thing I am tired of are the winds. I'm really tired of all this wind. I don't ever remember winter being so windy when I was growing up. There's too many big storms developing. And not enough big high pressure areas. Whatever happened to big high pressure areas? When I was younger, they were very common. But anyway, as you get toward the end of the period, you start seeing things improve. So really, it's only really 1 week. Next week already looks a little more interesting. Here's the GFS trying to develop a storm here, So there may be a storm involved with that pattern flip. So we have to deal with more snow again, possibly. So that's all ways away, all right, as far as snow goes. Not even going to speculate that far out. Again, this is the 18Z run. If we look at the 12Z run, it's probably going to look completely different. You see the storm is in a completely different spot. So it will be a change, but whether there's a storm, I really don't want a storm. I want it to stay dry. I don't want a big snowstorm. I just want it to get cold. But we'll have to see what happens. That's a ways out. I just want to, right now we got to deal with this week. So, let's go to the, you get to see what the patterns are going to look like, basically, as we get in. So this week's going to be very warm. So let's go and take a closer look at the shorter range. Now you get the idea of what we're going to be dealing with this week. So for tomorrow, you see that high pressure starts moving offshore. It could be a chance of a flurry or maybe a sprinkle in the afternoon. Very slight. And then that kind of, you can see there's that system that kind of moves off to the north. So at least Maine probably won't be sunny tomorrow because of that. I'll probably have to deal with a little bit of snow later in the afternoon. And then for Tuesday, it's dry. And then as we get toward the evening, like much later in the evening, this HRRR model still has it fairly dry. So that's good. So I'm hoping most of Tuesday can be dry. We don't have to deal with any of that sucky dampness that I hate with a passion. And we can stay dry pretty much. So let's look at our dew points and wind flow. You'll notice all that Arctic air up to the north. We got a northwest wind tonight. We start with that northwest wind tomorrow, and some of that cold air can get over Suffolk County, perhaps, starting with the north, and it comes southwest later on in the day to west, and that's, of course, going to bring in the warm air. For me, it's also going to bring in the furnace exhaust. So, I'll probably have to put the air conditioner on again. You see the dew points come up. We have the southwest wind. We have moisture air. And then Tuesday, the winds kind of go back to the north again. And then they shift off to the east as we get toward later Tuesday into Wednesday. And that's something that has to be watched. So could bring in the potential for sucky drizzle. I hope not. Dew points do seem fairly low to avoid all that, hopefully. Our air temperatures tonight, it's going to be cold, especially if you're in the Pine Barrens. I think single digits possible. Teens in a lot of other locations, maybe in low 20s. And in my alley, I'll be lucky to get below freezing. So, anyway, for tomorrow, you'll see the temperatures will probably be similar to today with mid-30s. Be a lot of clouds around. And then as we get toward, we'll have the clouds overnight, so the temperatures are only going to drop to around freezing. And then but Tuesday, this is when we start seeing the temperatures start warming up. Now we're above 40. Now we're in the mid-40s. So we're going to see that warm up. So let me go to the European now. I'll show you what we have coming up again later this week. All right, as far as the temperatures go, how things are going to change. So looking at the dew points here on the European, you'll see there's like a little low that moves through overnight. That's bring us out rain chances. And then Wednesday, the winds shift to the west. It's kind of breezy. Dew points are fairly low, not that low, but dry enough. All right, and then for Thursday, we have a northwest wind, and this would probably be our best day for sunshine here. Dew points are fairly low. It's dry air, but it will be warm. And then as we get toward Friday, we start seeing that south wind pick up and bring in that moisture and that LLJ for Saturday with that moist, very humid tropical air coming into the picture and bringing a lot of rain perhaps for Saturday. So after having a nice string of dry Saturdays, I'm afraid this Saturday is not going to be dry. So as we get into, you can see our temperatures increase as we get toward Wednesday. We start seeing temperatures get up close to 50 in Jersey, mid-40s. And then Thursday, even though behind we have that cold front move through, we're still going to be in the mid-40s for highs. And then here we go. Friday is when we're starting to see that heat build. 60 or better in Jersey. The sea breezes will keep us cooler. But it's going to be quite unusually warm. Could be record-breaking on Friday. And then Saturday, we still have that warmth around. The temperature's still getting up into the 60s. So very, very warm. And look at the GFS as well, showing the same thing here. Look at this. So it looks like Long Island avoids it because we have the south wind, so it'll keep us cooler. But if you're in Jersey, man, you're going to soar into the mid-60s. It's going to be ridiculous. And then even once that front passes, it'll cool down a little bit, but not. It'll just be seasonable. We'll take it, though, at this point. We'll take it. It'll drop things down to a more seasonable range. But in order to see any real cold air come back into the picture, we have to wait until we get toward the later part of the month, and that looks really nice. So I'm hoping, just hang in there. Hopefully we can get some cold air. And just for fun, just for the people who love snow, I can put this on here. It's not actually showing much snow, which is good. Well, not showing much at all, so sorry, snow lovers. But hey, a little bit of snow is okay. I don't mind an inch or two, but if it's a big snowstorm, no, I don't like that because it makes it a pain to get to hiking and stuff. So I know we get big snowstorms, but I want to have some Arctic air. Some good. Anyway, let's now that we've gone through all that, let's go over our sky models here. Off to the RGM we go, and let's go to the skies. We have the 0Z RGM in already because I'm taking so long to get this weather video done. So tomorrow, we'll start off, we have mostly clear skies tonight, maybe some scattered high clouds. Those high clouds thickening increase tomorrow, and then plenty of clouds for tomorrow. Maybe they'll thin a little bit in the overnight. And Tuesday, plenty of high clouds and plenty of clouds. They thicken by the later in the evening again with that system moving through. And then for Wednesday, it looks like we'll actually have mostly sunny skies perhaps in the afternoon. Perhaps, though I think it's I say Wednesday, I meant Wednesday. And then Thursday, I think, probably a tendency to have even a better chance of clear skies. So here's the GFS, by the way. So here's the GFS. You can see, again, those clouds are going to be over it. But Thursday, hopefully, we can actually get a mostly sunny day, even though it will be mild. And hopefully I can get to the Pine Barrens that day because it's already been too long. It feels like it's only been like 3 or 4 days, but that wasn't a really big hike because I was sick, and if I wasn't sick, I would have done a much bigger hike, but I didn't want to push myself too far, so I just went to Bohemia County Park. Otherwise, if I wasn't sick, I probably would have gone to Jersey or something. But anyway, I'm still fighting this cold off too. So you can see again. So Thursday would be then, and then, so at least we do have some chance of sun. But then Friday, Saturday, we're stuck in the clouds. And maybe Sunday we can get out of it, maybe. I'm not going to run any cloud miles more than a week ahead. So I'm going to go to the NAM 12. NAM now. We'll just look at our next precipitation chances. So again, this is for tomorrow. And you can see it tries to bring in some light rain, perhaps, overnight on the east end. This is the NAM being a little more aggressive with the light rain. I'm really hoping it's a little less aggressive than that. It could eastern Long Island, there could be some later on. The NAM's actually running it later. It's kind of interesting than the HRRR. And then for the overnight into Tuesday night, and when you can see later Tuesday night, we could have some light rain breaking out. It will not amount to very much precipitation at all. Very little, in fact. It'll just be a nuisance, basically, is what it's going to be. So let's go to some other models. We looked at all those. We'll go to Ventu Sky. We'll go to Windy, and we'll take a look at that. It'll give us a preview of that LLJ that we are going to get. Well, at least it'll get rid of the rest of the snow. We still have little patches of snow, especially out in Suffolk County. It's really ice. Which really there was a lot of ice when we did that hike in Bohemia County Park. I had to really be careful. I did not like that at all, even on the trails, not just on that road area. So we're going to use this to look at several things. Let's go ahead and actually look at our visibility. Let's say go to visibility and take a look and see if we're going to have to deal with any sucky drizzle. I really hope we don't have to deal with any of that. Not really showing any for tomorrow night, but Tuesday we may have to watch out for Tuesday night. Maybe Yeah, it's showing some by later on in the evening that we might have some sucky light rain. I mean, later, like after 9, 10 o'clock, it's showing possibly some sucky drizzle that we may have to deal with. And then after that, we won't have to deal with this. The next thing is the LLJ. So we'll go to wind gusts. There we go. So wind. All right, so the wind is going to start picking up as we get toward Wednesday. Nothing crazy. And Thursday it seems to back off, which is good. And then, unfortunately, this site only goes out to Saturday. So that's the problem with this site because they want to be greedy and they want to charge. Now, to go further out on Friday, don't look that bad, but Saturday we'd have an LLJ perhaps. Let's see. All right, you can graze it out. It takes the colors away because they want you to get premium now. I remember when this was all free, but you greedy bad bastards want to make money now. Unbelievable. Welcome to the human race. So anyway, it doesn't look that bad, the LLJ, actually. I don't see any crazy wind gusts here. But it will get quite warm. So, and we'll talk more about that as I make my next weather video as we get toward the end of the week. I'll just show you here how warm it's going to get again. You can see the heat on Friday. Here we the heat on Thursday, not as bad. Friday, definitely worse. And of course, I can't show you Saturday. Ventus Sky might actually take us out that far. Let's see. Different model. It uses the icon, but we can look at that one too as well. So, might as well, right? Let's go to Friday. Wind gusts. Let's see, Saturday. Yeah, it does show us Saturday. So here we go. It does look like there's some LLJ component here, but it's not that strong. So it will be an LLJ, but it will not. Right now, it doesn't look that strong. But of course, things could change. Could change the wind speed above ground. Yeah, that's still a pretty decent LLJ. So this will have to be watched because there's still some pretty strong winds. This is 1,600 feet up. So that's definitely an LLJ type of event, and of course it's going to be very warm as well. Temperatures are going to soar. That's not what we want. All right, here the surface temperatures here, 50s. Actually, kind of interesting because it shows how it's cooler toward the surface and warmer aloft. And we'll talk more about that as when I do my. I guess Thursday night we'll do the next weather video. You can see these temperatures as well and dew points as well. Plenty of moisture will be with this air mass. It's going to be like a tropical air mass here they're going to have to deal with. And it's going to bring a lot of rain, too. That's the other thing. So we can't use windy, but let's see. I think we can use precipitation on this. Actually, I could just go back to tropical tidbits, so we'll do that. Sorry I'm taking so long. There is a lot to talk about. So we'll go to the European model and just take a look and see how much precipitation as far as it's going to from that LLJ that we're going to have, all right? So you can see not a whole lot of precipitation here, but that LLJ, this doesn't even go out the whole way, but that LLJ could bring 1 to 2 inches of rain, perhaps, so it's going to be a soaker. And as we get close to it, we'll talk more. We'll have more details on what that's going to be like. That's our real storm to watch as far as next week goes. So let's go to the last stop on here, which is, the next to last stop is the Climate Prediction Center. 6 to 10 day outlook. There it is. It's the sad truth. Everybody above normal. Yeah, everybody's above normal. There's one. The south is near normal. This is a blowtorch pattern for the whole country. It's horrible. But Alaska is going to be cold. And precipitation near normal, pretty much for us. Below normal in the west, so it has it drier. And just above normal in the northern tier in the extreme southern part of Texas and southern part of Florida. And then we change it to the 8 to 14 day, and you do see a change here where we go back to near normal in most of the East Coast, above normal in the west for temperatures, precipitation below normal in the southeast and west, and near normal right over us. But still is a tip of above normal in Maine. And then if we go to the week 3 to 4, which I usually don't show, but this will give us hope, and it shows the below normal temperatures do extend back to the northeast, and it does have below normal precipitation actually from the northeast as well. So that's what they have. So our last stop on this weather video will be the ice, which of course I forgot to put up here. I always try to remember everything, and I can't. Hey, you live in a place where you can't get fresh air, it starts messing your brain up. So anyway, here's our ice map. You can still see below normal ice, still very much below normal. Next time I do this, I'm going to try to find a site that offers an analysis because, again, here in the United States, we have a bunch of climate denials running the government and even stupider people that believe what they say. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching. Have a good night.